Hello, my fellow readers. Today I am going to be going over my quarterly review for the second quarter of the year, which is April through June. The day that I'm shooting this, it is officially July 1st. I think it's going to be going up a little bit after the 1st, but yeah, no, that's how videos work out. Yeah, so I just finished June, and therefore at the end of the second quarter. I did read a lot of books, even though this year I was striving more for just purposeful reading. Not that it hasn't been purposeful, and not that I haven't enjoyed it. I just feel like you're still reading an awful lot. I thought you were going to try to take a break. It's been fun though. So I am going to turn you over to my other self, which is still me, and showing you my Goodreads and also my reading log for this time period. And I'll point out my favorites that I've read this quarter. Okay, so here is my second quarter, and it starts here with book 191, We Are the Brennans. This time I'm not going to show too much of my reading log. I just want to show that I'm still filling it out. And so I started up here in April and went all the way down to 346. So currently I'm at 346 books read for the year, which is way more than enough. I know for sure I'm going to get through a lot more books though, because my plans at this point, for the very, very near future, is I have to read all of my Demon Slayer manga. I still haven't done that yet. And I'm also currently reading Spy Family, so I'm hoping to fill this part in with all my volumes of Spy Family, and then, get started on Demon Slayer, because I have so much I have to add in for that. So if we look here, 346, and then subtract 191, which is where it all started. Wait, let me make sure I got the right thing. Yeah, so technically I should only subtract 190 from that. That would essentially mean I read 156 books throughout this quarter, which is obviously less than the 190 that I finished the first quarter, but I am in no way disappointed by that. I think that was fine. It still is too much in my opinion, so that's all I really wanted to show with this one. I don't remember if before I showed, but I am done with the Read Harder reading challenge. So there's everything all completed here. Completed 24 books, 0 challenges remaining. Also by this time I've finished the Read More reading challenge, and also I think it was, I can't remember what it was called, like Bookends or something. I will, of course, probably go over all of that at the end of the year. But I only have one reading challenge left to finish, and I believe it's the novelist one. So, yeah, I got through those. So from here on out, it's pretty much just whatever I want to read for the year, and that's great. I do have books that I have to read for my book clubs, but even those I'm usually very happy to read. So let's hop on over to my Goodreads reading challenge. And for this one, it's actually starting here at Katanagatari, Volume 1. I don't know how that got put in before We Are the Brennans, but there you go. It starts there, so let's just go through the covers. And if any, I spot any that were my particular favorites during this time period, I will show them off. I will say right off the bat, I really love A Gentle Noble's Vacation recommendation. It's such a soft fantasy series, and I just really liked it. So I'm definitely going to be continuing with that series. It just makes me smile when I see it. Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash. I liked this light novel during this time, and also The Secret Saint. Oh, I forgot about this one. Really like that one. Any that are standing out? Off talked about Savor's Book Cafe. I really like the bookish romances too. Meet Me in the Margins I thought was really, really cute. Continuing with the Witcher series. This is great fantasy. Love The Witcher. I Love, Hate, and Clickbait was very cute too. I really like the Becky Chambers series, but The Galaxy and the Ground Within was not my favorite of these. It was still good, but just it wasn't my favorite. Jade Legacy. Oh, I can't talk about this. Final book in this trilogy. I love this trilogy so much. And this was a great ending, but also just makes me very sad. Oh, I forgot I read that during this time period. And I absolutely love Finlay Donovan is killing it. The Finlay Donovan series has become one of my favorite, like, funny mystery series. It's so cute. I have read all of the current volumes of Requiem of the Rose King. There will be a review coming about this. I do like this series and would recommend it. Also really loved The Last House on Needless Street. This is a horror. I guess it's like psychological horror, and it's very, very good and surprising. I did like Project Hail Mary, so that was good. I did read The Ark for Other Birds by Sarah Addison Allen. I'm a big Sarah Addison Allen fan, and this did not disappoint. I really liked this book, and I feel like I've been waiting for it forever because it's been a while since Sarah Addison Allen wrote her last book, and so happy. It definitely lived up to my expectations. Would highly recommend it, especially if you're a fan of magical realism. She does a fairly good job. The Dark History of the Reincarnated Villainess I will also be reviewing. Also really liked this. It's very, very cute. I say cute, but like, I don't know. This filled a void that I liked. Have been into like the reincarnated villainess stories recently, and I really liked this one. Still continuing with Sasaki and Miyano. It will always remain a dear favorite. I love these characters, and I love how soft it is. I will also be talking about this one, The Fiancé Chosen by the Ring. I've only had volume 1 because that's all that's released so far. This is the manga version, not the light novel, but really loved this one. I don't feel like there was too many standouts during this time period. I mean, the ones that I've mentioned are definitely my favorites, and they're the ones that I would recommend. And probably lastly, it would be Before the Coffee Gets Cold. This is a very emotional, magical realism story, and I really loved it. So there's a cafe that you can go here, and there's a particular seat that will allow you to go back in time to a certain date. It will not change the present, but you can visit the past, and you have to do it within the time allotted, which is before your cup of coffee gets cold. You have to finish it and come back to the present time. And it was very good. I really liked this book. I would highly recommend it. I will be reading the second book as well, But yeah, this is probably one of my favorite Japanese stories, novels so far. There's quite a few good ones, but I really liked this one. And I'll be talking about Cat and Gamer too, which was a recent manga that I picked up and read. I really loved this too. What Moves the Dead? I finished the arc of this. Well, I would consider this more of a novella. It's not super long. It's not my favorite from T. Kingfisher, but it was spooky. It's a retelling of the Fall of the House of Usher. And that's probably all I really need to say about it. Like, obviously some of the main bits of the story get changed up and fleshed out, but the overall arc of what happens is based on the Fall of the House of Usher. So all you have to do is read that story. And yeah, I feel like there should have been more. Like, I feel like some of the stuff I just read yesterday, but apparently it was back in April. So, I don't know. That's so weird to me. You can probably see that I did get into some, but I should say back into. I wanted to revisit Edgar Allan Poe. I was a huge Poe fan from the time I was a kid. We always had like a big collected works of Edgar Allan Poe. And I always just liked the cadence of Poe's writing. So I revisited some of Poe's works. And then His Hideous Heart is also based on Poe's works. I did not know, because I picked up the audiobook, and I did not know that at the end of the author's reworkings of his short stories and whatnot, that they were going to have the original works at the end of it. So I ended up sort of with like a duplicate. Some of the stories weren't the same in these two, but there were some that were repeated. Oh, also got to read the arc for Liminal Zone. The new, and I'm pretty sure the stories are new too. The new work that'll be out from Junji Ito this year. And I believe, if I remember from what I read, these were the stories that Junji Ito published on the web during COVID, the whole lockdown, if I remember correctly. Really good. Also read a lot of true crime. Not a lot, but I read quite a bit of true crime during this time period. So up above was In Cold Blood, probably the most famous true crime. That was by Truman Capote. But also finished I'll Be Gone in the Dark. And Helter Skelter. I don't remember if there was another one. But all very enjoyable true crime. If you like enjoyable, but like not in a necessarily good way, but just the way of following the narrative. Like they're easy to follow. Tells the story of whatever criminal case. The contents themselves are obviously very dark, very disturbing to think about and read about, especially since they're true. But if you can handle, dark and twisty tales and trying to understand why people do what they do, then you might enjoy those works of true crime. And I sort of got inspired to get into some more of these from this arc here. This is a new romance coming out, Love in the Time of Serial Killers. And I actually really liked this. I thought it was fun. But the main character, she is an English major. And her dissertation that she's working on is on true crime works and addressing them more in the literary sense. That it's often a genre that's kind of overlooked in the literary field. So it was interesting. I enjoyed that very much. And yeah, I would recommend it. I don't know if this is out yet or if it's coming out in August. I read the arc of it, so look for that one. So yeah, I did finish a lot of arcs during this time period, and most of them were pretty good. Some not as good as others, but most were pretty good. I was happy with getting to read them. So there you go. There is 3 months worth of my reading. Ooh, I didn't get to mention this. Oh, this. Well, I fangirl out. This was one of my favorite arcs. Very excited to see this and also promote it. This is Husband Material, the sequel to Boyfriend Material, which I believe I published my review on, by Alexis Hall. So, yep, this is the sequel to that, and a very fitting sequel, and would recommend when it comes out if you have read Boyfriend Material. And if you haven't, and you want a romance, Boyfriend Material is really good, and then follow it by Husband Material. I'm like, have I hit everything? I've mentioned some horror, I've mentioned some romance, I've mentioned true crime. I mentioned fantasy with Jade Legacy, and that whole series is good. If you have not read that trilogy, read it. And I mentioned Witcher, but I'm also still slowly getting through the Wheel of Time series, so yeah, that little rep there as well. Accomplishments of the Duke's Daughter. I like that series. Really good. So, yeah, I think now I've mentioned a little bit of everything. So even if you don't like the romance that I've pointed out, maybe you would like the horror or the fantasy series, or the true crime, or the mystery. Yep, or any of the manga, because I love manga, and it fits a lot of the genres. So, there you go. 3 months worth of books. Looking pretty good. I can't wait to see what my reading looks like throughout the summer and then early fall, because I know usually it turns to more thrillers and horror, or sometimes dark academia. I don't know what this year is gonna bring. It'll be fun to find out. And now I'm gonna go back to other me to close out the video. So that was my quarterly review for April through June 2022. I don't know what the rest of the year is going to hold. I mean, honestly, I could stop reading right now and be satisfied with this year as a year in reading. I'm not going to, because there's just a lot of books I want to read between manga and new releases. I've got a lot of arcs that I'm reading and or listening to, and a lot from the backlog that I still have not gotten to. So yeah, we'll see how the next quarter goes, and then the final quarter. And I can't believe it. I can't believe that we're in the halfway point of the year already. Looking back, it's just gone by in a flash. And I've read a lot and a lot of great books, but it's just gone by so fast. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how the rest of the year goes, and how many more great manga series I'm able to discover and read about, and light novels as well. I've been so happy this year to get so into light novels, and I've found some that I absolutely love. Some I enjoy reading and I'll probably finish, but I don't absolutely love them, and then I found others that I absolutely love. I love Tear Moon Empire. That's probably at the top right now, and then I would say love Accomplishments of the Duke's Daughter. I thought that was great. My Happy Marriage. You're probably noticing a lot of them are like more shoujo oriented, and yeah, that's probably just because it's me, and I really like shoujo. I did really love what is it, Grimgar Fantasy and Ash. I did like volume 1 of that, so I look forward to reading more of that series as well. I think that's the one that gets a little bit drawn out, like the first couple of volumes. I think that's what I've read, but still, what I've read thus far, I really like. So yeah, super looking forward to continuing my read of light novels. I'm enjoying them thoroughly. Yeah, that's it for this video. Until next time, bye.